Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for joining us and tuning in for our Wednesday night Uplift service here at MMCC Wilson. I am Pastor T. That's me.
Am I supposed to say, I am Pastor B? That's me.
Yes. No, that's my line. Thank you all once again for joining us and tuning in. Hey, listen, before we continue on this live, I want you guys to do me a favor. Pay close attention. All right?
Close.
Go down to the bottom left corner of your device.
Bottom left.
All right? iPhone, Android, whatever you have. Hit the share button. Share and post. Share and post. You're supposed to say it with me.
Share and
and
get a new
post.
host. I mean, post.
Oh,
yes.
that was good.
Share
that
and
was
post.
good. That
Share
was good. Share and post. All right, like it, love it. Give us a lot of comments. Hey, tell us where you're from. Tag
Please.
somebody. What city are you watching from? What state are you watching from? All right? Say what's up to us. And most of all, above all, share this video.
Please,
Okay.
please,
Before
please.
we get into the word, we actually have an announcement. This weekend is, of course, Mother's Day weekend, right?
Yes.
And so here at MMCC Wilson, we want to do something special for our mothers here at the church as well as the community. So what we have decided to do this Saturday at 1 p.m., we are doing 50 meals for mothers, okay? And what that's going to look like is there is a registration link on our page, mmccwilson.com, all right? That's the website, mmccwilson.com. You'll see a register button. You can register, all right? You can RSVP, all right? Because it's going to be a certain cutoff time.
Right.
And then Saturday at 1 o'clock, you're going to drive through. We have some food prepared for y'all. We have some gifts just to show you that we appreciate you guys here at MMCC Wilson. And don't forget, it's not just limited to the members here, but it's also available to the community, all right? So make sure you go ahead and register. It's only 50 slots.
Only 50.
Only 50 slots.
So, moms, go to www.mmccwilson.com, okay? And we want you to register. Like I said, it's going to, like he said, it's going to be some amazing food. It's just our way
I'm cooking.
of it's just our way of saying thank you. We know during this time, usually people will be going out to restaurants and things like that, and you can't sit down, okay? And we understand. So we're just trying to do something to say thank you, okay?
Thank you.
So
Yep.
I'm encouraging all of the moms at MMCC Wilson, okay, all the mothers here, go register now, okay?
Now.
Because when we put it out there to everyone else, I guarantee you those slots are going to fill fast, okay?
Only 50.
Only 50. So we want you to go eat for free. It's free.
It's free.
Free food. It's free food. And all the precautions are going to be taken to make sure everybody's safe. We're clean. And so it's going to be good. It's going to be great. Phenomenal.
All right. Y'all ready for the word? Because I am.
50 meals for
For
50
moms.
moms. Meals.
Spread the word.
A meal for 50 moms. Or
Spread the
50
word.
meals for 50
No,
moms.
50 meals for 50 moms.
50 meals for 50 moms.
Yeah.
50 meals for 50 moms. Okay. So
And if you don't have any children, then roll up here. Because you're not going to get fed. Just a disclaimer.
man of God. Lady B said she needs her food on a golden plate. Everybody's food is going to be on a paper plate.
Paper. Hefty.
It's going to be hefty though.
Hefty.
It won't be the Dollar General paper plate. It'll be hefty so it won't bust open. All right. So while we're talking right now, go ahead, you guys share this, tag somebody. We're going to talk a little bit tonight, again, about mind games. We're going to go deeper into this. If you have any questions, we're not necessarily doing the question and answer segment tonight, but if you have questions, we'll take them and we'll answer them accordingly. We're excited about what's taking place, and like mind games has been amazing. It's been dope.
Amazing.
I do have a question before we get into mind games. Are dealing with mothers, right? While I'll talk a little bit. What was one of your favorite Mother's Day memories about your mom?
But my mom.
Yeah, while I'm talking, you can think on it.
Uh,
While I'm talking, you can think on it.
mhm.
While I'm talking, meaning I'm about to say something, you
Oh,
think
well,
about it, and I'm gonna come back.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, we really love our moms here. Look, boy, that's that public education, boy, I tell you. So we really seriously appreciate our moms. So I'm going to give it one more time, okay? And MMCC, we're going to put it in our group me so that you guys can know what to do. I don't want anybody saying, "Well, I didn't know, I was unaware." Okay? We just decided to do this. So we want all of the moms, okay? Meaning you birth someone or you take care of a child full time, okay? We want to celebrate you as well. You might have not birthed a child physically, but you take care of a child full time. We want you to go to www.mmccwilson.com. I don't know why I like saying W. I need to stop before. But www.mmccwilson.com and register for free, okay? We just want to know that you're going to come, and it's going to give you the information, the time, 1 p.m. We want you here at 1 o'clock so you can drive through, pick up your meal, and go on about your day, okay? All right? So there it is. It's on the screen. So let's get it done, all right? Now, Terrell, have you been thinking or you just been shaking? Okay, man. What's one of your favorite Mother's Day
Well, I have a
memories
few.
of your
No,
mom?
let me stop. One of wait, for Mother's Day, or just in general.
Just in general.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
In general.
Growing up, my mom's a singer, and I would always like to wake. And this is probably like corny to y'all, but this is a memory for me. I got the mic now. So, waking my mom, okay. So I would wake up early in the morning, and I would go in the kitchen, and my mom, she would be sitting at the dining room table, and she would be reading her word. And like she had everything highlighted everywhere. And so it's like certain days, you would hear her singing throughout the house, and she taught us how to pray. I'm one of those kids who woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with oil on my head, then praying for me, literally, didn't know what was going on. But I think those actually, that is like my favorite memory of her, because that I've watched her as a praiser and how she studied her word and listened to her sing around the house. And in church, she'll dance all day. She'll shout all day long. She'll praise. She'll cry all day long. But actually watching her at home, actually seeing her live it, and it was her lifestyle, and that's something that motivated me a lot. And I'll never forget that.
That's
I'll
good.
never forget that.
That's good. I think I have a lot of my mom. I think the one that stands out, well, this was like a reoccurring memory, so I'll give you two, was every Saturday morning you wake up to the smell of bleach,
That part. Yeah.
Comet, not the spray,
The seasoning.
the seasoning. You seasoning the bathtub with the
Right.
bleach and
Let
Comet
it sit for a while.
and Whitney Houston, because my mom won't save like that. She went to church, but y'all pray for her. But she be listening to Whitney Houston and whoever else. And when you woke up on Saturday, it was time to clean
It was
up.
time to clean.
My other memory about my mom, if she watching this, is I never forget. It was Easter, and I had a white suit, and I was in the Power Rangers at the time. That's why I don't even get mad at Joey right now, because when he be running and kicking, that was me. And I never forget my mom got me this white suit, and I went outside running and kicking, and I split the butt of my pants of that new white suit. And my mom, she ain't even asked questions. She just came out hitting and whooping. And, I was trying to run. She had my arm, and, just pulling like a yo-yo, pulling me back. And I would run. She pulled me back, and she whooped me for like 30 minutes straight.
Wait, I gotta tell one more.
No, that's it.
No, come on.
All
you
right,
told
so
two. Just one more.
no.
Come on, just one more, because you
All
told
right.
two. All right. So I wasn't in school yet, right?
All right, so
No, come
mind
on now.
games.
Come
Okay,
on.
all right. Here we go.
So I was at school. Well, I wasn't in school
He
yet.
excited about this.
I really am.
Go ahead, talk about
Because
your
I haven't
mama.
told this
Talk about
to
your mama.
anybody.
Go
So
ahead.
I got in trouble for something. I don't know what I did, but I was hiding from my mom. So I was hiding from my mom, right? I hid behind the closet door. This is gonna be good. So
It better
she
be
came
good.
in, and she was looking up under the bed. She was like, Aaron. Of course, my name's Terrell, but they call me Aaron. So they was like, Aaron. So she looked up under the bed. She looked, everywhere. She didn't look behind the closet door. So she kept looking for me for a few minutes. Minutes passed by, and she couldn't find me. And so she went in the kitchen. Y'all ready? And she said, Aaron, I got some Fruit Loops. So I ran from behind the door and ran in the kitchen. And that was like the bait. And she took me by my legs, by my ankles, and she turned me upside down. And she like shook my sweatpants off. It was burgundy. I had burgundy sweatpants on. She shook them off and she tore my behind up. So I would never live down that moment. Did you enjoy that story? I know you did. He gonna be asking me to tell it again after the live is over.
All right, so he was ready to get that. They were burgundy. All right. So let's jump into this. Mind games. We're not going to be up here long. I'm going to go over a few things, and Terrell's going to jump in here a little bit. We talked about this Sunday. I want to kind of go over it again, where we hit a couple of words. One word in particular that stood out was hypocrite. I'm going to go over that again and talk some more about that. But mind games, right? This has been a time where like people's minds have been under attack.
Right.
And I said this in the genesis of this segment of this series is if your mind is under attack right now, 9 times out of 10 it was under attack before the pandemic happened.
Absolutely.
Right. And most of us have not realized that our minds have been under attack because we covered up with being busy.
Absolutely.
You know, we covered up with going to work, paying bills, taking care of families, doing whatever doing whatever it is we do. Mm-hmm. And now we're at a place where we have to slow down. We have to deal with ourselves.
Deal with it, right.
So the first thing I want to remind you of is this is how the enemy works, okay? And I want you to write this down. Jay to put it up there. Terrell, like his job, right, is to deceive. So he will deceive you into thinking that busyness is productiveness. All right? So here's what I want you to write down. Just because you're busy, it doesn't mean you're productive.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Just because you're busy, it does not mean you are productive. And one of the ways that the enemy will play with our minds is having us thinking that we're doing a lot because, no, you're doing a lot, but you're not accomplishing a lot.
Busy doing nothing.
There you go. You know, you're busy, but you're doing a lot, but you're accomplishing little.
Yeah.
And that is a trick of the enemy. So then when you get to the place where, okay, you try to go back and look at your accomplishments, check this out. I want everybody who's in their 30s, 40s, 50s, right, to look back over your life and look at your accomplishments. And I guarantee you, I wish I just had one person who could say, Pastor, that's not true. I guarantee you, everyone in here is going to say, I did not accomplish everything I set out to do. Everyone I'm listening to is going to say, I did not accomplish everything that I set out to do.
Yes, sir.
But I promise you, everybody can say, I have been busy though.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. If you've been busy, but you haven't accomplished everything you set out to do, then really at the end of the day, what were you really doing?
What were you really doing? Yes, sir.
And and so what happens is, if you are not careful, Jay, is you'll get there and you're busy and you look back over your life and be like, Dag, what did I accomplish? Man, I wish I would have did this. And then guess what happens? Depression sets in your mind. Anxiety sets in. Well, it's too late now. Right. I'm not old enough, or right. I'm not, I'm too old, rather, like all these things said. Then you get depressed. Your anxiety sets in. Frustration sets in. Unforgiveness sets in. You don't forgive yourself. Yeah. Right. So then you're mean to people. You're mad at people. You're rude to people. Or you ain't got time for people's mess. Yeah, I'm in the new, whatever it is. And so all these mind games begin to occur. But here's what I want to go back to, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19, where God told the children of Israel, today I have given you the choice between what? Life and death. I've given you the choice between blessings and curses. Right. So can I tell you something? And this might not be like popular when I say it, but your failure was a choice.
Absolutely.
Whether It was a choice. Whether you set out to purposely fail or whether it was an accident, which I don't think anybody say I'm a purposely fail in life or mess up,
Right.
whatever the case is, it is a
It's a choice. It's
choice.
a choice. Yep.
But I want you to write this down. And Tura, I want you to elaborate on this a little bit. How you think determines how you live.
Oh, that's true.
How
Most
you
definitely.
think determines how you live. Low thinking equals low living.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, and it's interesting you said that because it's like there reminds me of scripture that says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, so
Oh.
goes he." So how you think really is because honestly,
Um,
everything's
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, everything starts as a thought. And so now what you do with that thought, whether you let it sit there or whether, if it's, of course, if it's a thought is not of God or, if it's not a thought of productivity, then, of course you cast those thoughts, those imaginations down. But if you don't address those thoughts, if you don't deal with those thoughts, then they fester, they sit in, and then it kind of leaks into your heart. And then sometimes, the heart being desperately wicked and deceitful,
Mm-hmm.
you find yourself doing things that are in your heart because we have not dealt with our thoughts. We haven't dealt with our imagination. We haven't dealt with the things that were in our mind. And so sometimes, in not dealing with it, we find ourselves following. And I think that's the most dangerous thing to do sometimes. People say a lot, follow your heart,
Mm-hmm.
follow your heart.
Uh-oh.
And what's in our heart is not always right because post salvation, I mean pre-salvation, and even post salvation, we have to check. We have to. That's why David said, "Create in me a clean heart, O God,
Oh
and
God.
renew within me a right spirit." So it's a constant renewing process. But in that, you know, following your heart is desperately wicked. It's deceitful.
Right.
So, but like I said before, it all starts in the mind,
Right.
a thought, and imagination. And so, how you think really is how you live. And the thing is, with that, I know we've been talking about anxiety. You know, the Bible talks about think on these things that are lovely, things that are honest, of good report. When you think on those things, you find yourself being productive. Because the thing is, if you're thinking about things that are honest, of a good report, things that are praiseworthy, things that are great, you're gonna pursue those things. So you're gonna work and do whatever it takes, to get those things. But if you're thinking opposite, like sometimes, and I don't, and this is not a shot at anybody, but
Okay.
um, I work in the school system, and I work in the bad part of Greensboro, and it's the neighborhood surrounding our schools are poverty stricken,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing wrong with needing assistance from the government, but when you are stuck there and you solely rely and depend on them and you don't want to work yourself,
Yep.
that becomes a handicap.
There you go.
And so a lot of people that are around the area that I work in, they're depending solely on the government. They have the means to get out and work, but because they have that cushion from the government, they don't want to get out and work.
Right.
And so they're thinking they have a poverty mindset. And when you have a poverty mindset and when you're thinking low, you'll always feel comfortable and you'll always feel like that's where you want to live, that's where you want to be. And so, I mean, it's just simple. How you think is really how you live.
Okay. So let's go back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because this is where I want to deal with our minds. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really concerned about the amount of viewers we have tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I want those, especially MMCC. I want you to watch, listen, and hear with intent. Okay. Because this is what I mean about mind games. When you first started, first of all, your comments were on point, right? Like absolutely on point. However, when you first started, you used a scripture that said what?
As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
And then you use that as a premise to saying whatever you think you become, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this is the epitome of what I'm talking about in the sermon series. Why do you say that scripture means that? Have you ever studied it, or is that how it was taught to you, or
Mm-hmm.
why do you say it says
That's
that?
that's how it was taught to me.
That's how it was taught to
Mm-hmm.
you, right? it was taught out of context
Mm.
because that's not what that means.
Mm-hmm.
When you read the whole chapter prior to, especially in verse 6, and when you read the whole chapter, what it is talking about is a person, right? It's a father talking, most likely a father or a parent talking to their child
Mm-hmm.
on how to be a guest in someone's home.
Mm.
So you ever heard somebody say, you ever ask somebody for something
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to give it to you, but they give it to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that meant. It's saying when you're in somebody's home and they're saying, hey, they're acting hospitable, but they really don't want you there.
Mm.
So this parent is teaching them, like, hey, just eat a little bit, do what you got to do, and then get out of there.
Got it.
Because verse 7, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he, meaning he really don't want you there. His mouth is saying one thing, but he really don't want you there. That's why it says, that's why it says there's that colon.
Yeah.
Eat and drink,
Mm-hmm.
saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee.
Got it. Makes perfect sense.
So the mind games come in is when we've been taught something faulty
Mm-hmm.
and we've been using it out of context,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So then now, how do we get low living, low thinking, low living, high thinking, high living? Set your heart's affections on the things above and not what? On the things of the earth, this world, right? And so, like I was saying, your premise for people, sort of not striving for better, well, the question is, how can they strive for something they've never seen?
Mm.
How do they go after something they've never seen,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you not realize that there are some people in Wilson County who's never been out of Wilson County?
Right.
Do you not realize that there are some people who say, I'm gonna go to Myrtle Beach, and that's the farthest they've been, and they call that a vacation? You see what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
And so now here's where mind games the enemy plays with you, right? Is where the less exposure you have,
Mm-hmm.
the more likely you are to repeat a curse.
Mm. That's good.
Because now you think that your abnormalcy, and it's not even you're not even abnormal. It's normal to you because that's all you've ever seen. So then why then does God give us a choice?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, God, how can I choose something I've never seen?
That's good.
How can I
That's interesting.
how can I choose? So we think when God says, I've given you the choice between life and death,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you something. Some people think life is selling drugs.
That's
Some people
true.
think life
That's true.
is robbing somebody, right? Some people think life is going to jail and then coming out saying, yo, I've been to jail. Some people think that is life.
Mm-hmm.
The mind game. To where the enemy, listen, he's not going anywhere.
Right.
We are the only people in a rush
Absolutely.
to make something happen.
Right.
So
Right.
he is calm, he's patient, and the way that people's minds are altered is one or two ways. Your mind is either altered through trouble, or your mind is altered through generations. Meaning this, when you go through a bad breakup,
This is good.
what happens? I ain't trusting nobody no more if they cheated
Right.
on you,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you become what you hate. You'll start doing what you hate.
Mm-hmm.
Now your mind is altered. You mean to people. I ain't got right? Then the second way I said is through generations.
Mm-hmm.
That's the more long, sure approach. Meaning this, if something happened to you in a relationship, let's take that for example.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened to you in a relationship where your relationship doesn't work out. It alters your mind. Then you have a child. And then how you operate in relationships, guess what? They learn it.
Right. Right.
It's a learned behavior. They learn your mindset, and it becomes their lifestyle. I want you to write this down. Be careful Be careful that your faulty mindset doesn't become someone else's lifestyle.
Wow.
How do you eat your grits?
With sugar.
How do your parents eat their grits?
Sugar.
Right?
Mhm.
I eat salt in mine. Ask me why.
Why?
My mom eats salt in hers.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And that's a frivolous
Right.
example, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yep.
How your parents do things is more than likely how you gonna end up doing things,
Right.
and how you end up doing things is more likely how your children are gonna end up doing things.
Absolutely. That's true. No, this is good. This is good.
Are y'all catching this? Is
This
this
is
is
good.
this is this cool?
Yes.
All right. I hope I'm not wasting anybody's time.
No.
All right. So
You got
then
me
now you
thinking
get to the
over here.
point of how do I choose, God?
Wow.
That's Proverbs 3, and this is just simple Bible study stuff that it should have never just been Bible study. It should just be, a part of our lives, right? It should be our lifestyle. Acknowledge him in what?
All thy ways.
And he will do what?
direct your path.
He'll direct your paths,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've said this, and I said this time and time again, right? That the way I became the father that I am is actually a couple ways that my birth father was not in my life, and I made the declaration I wasn't going to do that to my children, right? But that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because if I made the declaration without information and an instruction, I would have created another snare for them.
Right. Right.
Because now I'm trying to make my own image into something. So what did God do? God put me around fathers. He let me see how real fathers
I
act.
see where you're going.
So then now I have the choice to make excuses for what I didn't have, or make the choice to become what he showed me.
That's good. That's good.
So what I'm telling you is the way that God gives you choices is he will give you exposure. Write that down. Exposure. That's why you can't hate people that have what you want. That's God's way of exposing you to show you this is how you treat what you want.
Right.
Because you'll get the desires. He will give you the desires of your heart. But for some shouters, a lot of you have lost them because you didn't know how to keep them.
That's good.
So you
That's
end up
good.
going back in the
That's
circle of asking for what you had,
Wow.
but not the ability to keep.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I'm
That's
getting on
good.
somebody's nerves already.
No, this is good. You got us thinking. This is good.
Because if you mess it up, you'll get it. I need somebody just to type this as in all caps. I am blessed. Let me hear you say, I am blessed. I am blessed. You are blessed. You understand? You are blessed beyond measure. You are blessed beyond measure. You are blessed beyond measure. Everything about you is blessed. Your money is blessed. Your health is blessed. Your family is blessed. Your finances is blessed. But I want to take it to another level. Not only do I want to be blessed, but I want to keep it. I want to be fruitful. I want to multiply. I want my one-time blessing to turn into generational blessings.
Right. Right.
Because I learned how to manage them.
Absolutely.
Now, I shared this with my grandmother. Because my grandmother, my grandma is a strong woman, like amazingly strong, diagnosed with polio at in childhood, right? And lived a hard life physically. And actually just some of the other stories that she's recently told me over the last couple of years, like she's lived a hard life. But she is such a warrior that I didn't even know, right? My grandma held 4 or 5 jobs at one time with polio. I don't know if you know about polio, but
Yes,
it afflicts your body,
Right.
And she worked. My grandma worked until she could not physically work anymore, right? Over 40 years being a cook on Fort Bragg base, being a beautician. I mean, and going to church, serving the Lord, raising children, raising me at one point in time, right? I mean, but I sat down And I never forget, she made the comment, when I die, I ain't leaving nobody nothing. I ain't leaving y'all nothing. I was like, what? She said, I ain't leaving y'all nothing. Y'all work. I had to work for it. You work for it. All I'm doing is making sure I got enough to be buried with.
Mm.
I had to expose my grandmother's mindset to say, Grandma, that's not biblical.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when I exposed it to her, she realized, oh, wait a minute. God allowed me to go through this so that you all wouldn't go through this. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir. Perfect sense.
Like that's what that every generation should make the next generation better. But if
Wow.
your mindset is, oh, it's just about me,
Right.
which a lot of millennials are like that.
Absolutely.
If our mindsets are not on things above, if our mindsets are on things here, what are you doing to stimulate your mind? I preached a message a while ago. Who cares if you die?
Oh yeah, that was good.
Who
That was
cares if you die? Not because we were friends and we went to lunch, but who is going to be impacted by your life so much that their life skips a beat?
right.
Or were you so selfish in your mindset and thought process that it's all about you, building you, I'm living my best life. All these things that you only live once. All these sayings that we use and we come up with, and it causes us to be more self-indulged.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. This is good.
So what ends up happening is we end up imagining all these things that we want, and we shun the exposure, and then we try to create success ourselves when God has given us a blueprint. He told us the least among you is actually the what? The greatest. The servant is actually what? The greatest.
Yes, sir.
But when we shun that exposure and try to be served, try to be something,
Wow. That's good.
So
That's
we
good.
try to create our own, right? And that's when, like I said, what I wanted to get to, that's when we become hypocrites.
Mm.
All right. Are y'all ready for this? Hypocrite. Write it down. Let me see it. Oh, they are liking.
I don't think they're ready.
All right. Huh?
I don't think they're ready.
Okay. Write this down. Write the word hypocrite. HIPOCRITE. Write hypocrite. Write that down. HYP. That's what I said.
You said HIP.
I said why.
We'll go back and watch it. You said
I said why.
I.
Why?
You just said it Y right now.
The
but-
Bible says never correct those who. See, that's your
no,
problem.
it's not.
That's
That
your
is
problem.
not what it say.
No, it don't. But a Bible say it. I know there's a.
Watch somebody go.
It's probably the
Go there and
English,
put
the
it.
English, the English Standard Version or something. HYPOCRITE. Hypocrite. Type that in. Hypocrite. All right. Do you remember what hypocrite is? Okay. What do people say a hypocrite
What do
is?
people say? People label a hypocrite simply as this: you can't tell me not to smoke weed if you smoke weed yourself. Being a hypocrite, what people, say it is, or if I'm smoking or doing something, doing drugs, whatever it is, it can be whatever, gossiping, whatever it is. And I try to correct somebody on them gossiping or correct somebody on the same thing that I'm doing, they'll label me as a hypocrite.
Right.
Kind of like a double standard type deal.
Okay. Why? Why is that a hypocrite? What's Romans 3:23?
I mean,
For all have.
for all have sinned and come short of the glory
Yeah, I
of
knew
God.
you knew it. I knew you knew it. Okay.
I know it's in there.
I know. Yeah, but that's right. That's right. We need to go back to the basics. No, I'm just kidding. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Right.
Right. Now, if we're expected to fall short in sin, why are we hypocrites then?
That's good.
Exactly.
That's
So
good.
let's go back when Jesus called who hypocrites? Pharisees.
Pharisees,
And who else? Sadducees.
Sadducees,
The
Pharisees.
keepers and teachers of the law.
Yeah.
Why did he call them hypocrites? They were in the temples teaching. They had their garments on, right? But they didn't have their
heart won't right. The heart won't right.
Their hearts weren't right. I'm gonna let you have that one. Their hearts weren't right.
No, I was
Right. You remember what I said the Greek meaning of hypocrite is? Actor. Actor. The Greek meaning of the word hypocrite is actor. What does an actor do? They remember lines. They rehearse. They play roles without ever becoming.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say it one more time.
Yeah.
They rehearse. They remember lines. They play characters. They play roles without ever becoming. So Jesus said, you hypocrites, you actors, you've learned the Bible front and back. You've learned how to preach. You've learned how to teach. You've learned how to keep the law.
Yeah.
But you never became.
Right.
Man, are y'all?
Yes,
you
sir.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So you're not a hypocrite because you failed.
Right.
You're human. You're a hypocrite because you played a role in church that you were not at home.
That's the one. That's the one.
You're not an apostle because you got the title. You're not a bishop because you have the title. You're not a chief prophetess or prophet because you got a title.
Right.
You got the title for your identity because you needed it.
Wow.
All right. I think I'm getting on people's nerves.
No, this is good.
You preach, but you never. That's
Never
why I say
lived.
you don't study to preach. You study to live. You guys can attest to this. This must be God. Y'all can attest to this. I was not supposed to be sitting in this seat tonight.
Absolutely.
He was not supposed to be sitting here, not because the devil would have had his way. Nah, because we was going to play a clip of something else.
Right.
We wanted a break too. We were going to play a rewind clip, and it wouldn't work. We couldn't get it to work. We was frustrated and couldn't get it to work. So we had to sit up here, and we did not get the chance to study. Right. We didn't get the chance to go over any notes. We didn't say, hey, you talk about this, I'm going to talk about that. But yet we're up here, and people are being blessed. You know why people are being blessed? You know why we're able to talk? You know why I'm talking? Not because I studied to preach, but because I studied to live. I don't preach subjects I have not learned to master. A lot of your problem is, and they're going to go down after this. They're going to be mad. A lot of your problem is you start preaching your testimony too soon. What? You start preaching your testimony too soon.
That's true.
Why are you preaching an undeveloped message?
Ooh. Jesus.
Because listen, you haven't lived it, you hypocrite.
Wow. Sheesh.
That's why I'm against 12-year-old apostles.
I'm against it too. I don't get it.
Not because, they too young. No. There's some life lessons you need to learn first.
Absolutely.
Because if not, you're going to end up trying to carry something that will crush you.
Right.
I don't hear nobody. And the reason I don't hear them because y'all out there. So I hope I can see y'all typing in. Almost everyone that I know, parents that became parents unexpectedly or had children out of wedlock or had children early, almost all the parents that I've talked to, including myself, say this one thing. I wish I would have waited. Not I regret my child. Not even I regret my child's father. Not even that. I mean, some do. or their child's mother. Not even that. But most of all, I don't regret. I love my child. My child is a gift from God. I thank God for my child. But I wish I would have waited
Yeah.
because there were some things that I did not know at the time that I know now that I would have been better prepared to handle.
Right.
And a lot of our problem is our minds, we settle for the image, the acting of being delivered without really being delivered.
Right.
The
Oh,
acting
wow.
of having power but not
Yeah.
really having
Yeah.
power.
Most definitely.
And when you are careful, I wanna flip what you said when you were like a man think is he so is he. No. I wanna add my own I'm not adding my own scripture, but this is my proverb. The more you do it, the more you think it.
Oh, definitely. You train.
And then the more you think it, the more you do it.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all
that's
should have
true.
said amen.
That's
Y'all
true.
should have said amen. The little curly haired guy over here didn't say amen, so I'm going to have to go
I
here.
said that's true.
No, you didn't say amen.
Amen.
This is a holy church. We don't that's true. This ain't this ain't that
It means
type
the
of
same
church.
thing.
No, it don't. Facts is not amen. Facts is facts.
It is so. True.
Amen.
That's
It is
true.
so. That's true. No. Period. That's true. That's it. Amen. I don't see none of that in the Bible.
Why I got to get chastised for it?
You don't make me forget. the more you do it, the more you think about it.
Right.
And that's who you become. Okay? And like I
Amen.
said, there you go, but it's too late. A lot of us, before we had sex, we didn't think about it. Right? And if you thought about it, it was like, ooh, okay, shower, move on, or whatever, and move on.
Right.
But then
Not shower.
when you entered into the other realm,
Yeah.
on the other side,
On the other side.
right? Your next move was, when is it gonna happen again?
Absolutely.
When can I do it again? And it created a cycle
Yeah,
and
that's
opened
true.
up something that listen, before you didn't know what you were missing
Yeah. That's true.
because you did it,
Yeah.
you thought it. So you think that because you get a title or you get coach purse or you get a car that you can't afford that you're gonna be something, and that's not the case.
Definitely not the case. It's not the case.
And your listen, the enemy wants to get control of your mind.
Most definitely.
He wants to get control of your mind and have you thinking people that ain't thinking about you don't like you. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Yeah, they hating them. Ain't nobody thinking about you. I love listening to successful people. And one of the things, Steve Harvey is like an overnight success. He's not an overnight success. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Steve Harvey is has built his success to a point where it's unmatched, right? And a lot of people hate him because they think his success is overnight success, and it's not. He's had a lot of failures. He's had a lot of downfalls, right? People are like, I don't know why you would listen to a man that's been divorced 7 times, right? Well, he's in his marriage now. It's successful. He love her. They love it, right? Who's to say that he has not learned his lesson through those,
Absolutely.
moments?
Absolutely.
He said something, Jay, I'll never forget, that people pitch him business ideas. And he said something I'll never forget. And because I was feeling bad about, not answering people's messages. And, I'm notorious for people like, oh, you don't answer messages. Like Jay was here today, and I didn't know she was outside. She'd text me. I wasn't paying attention to my phone. But I've learned to stop feeling bad about that.
Yeah.
And the people who are close to me, they don't feel bad either. They know me by now, right? And that's this. He said this. When people pitch their ideas to me, they got 30 seconds. He said, because I'm busy. And what he called it was an elevator conversation. If you catch a successful person in an elevator, they can't go nowhere.
Right.
Right? They got to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
So I learned that when I'm around successful people and they don't seem interested, not to take it to heart. Because they're thinking of their next move. Maybe they won't. So what did I have to do? I had to up myself to get what I needed to be in their arena so they could pay attention to me.
Right.
Versus saying, oh, they arrogant. They this. they that. No, 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 no. It's a level that you've not entered into.
Yeah.
And if you have not matured your mindset, you will. If you have not matured your mindset, you will disqualify yourself from a realm that God's trying to take you into. I want to tell you something. Your bank account is not full yet. Not because you don't. The reason why is because your mind is not there yet.
Wow.
Your mind is not there yet. Lord, help my mind. Lord, help my mind. Help me not to be a hypocrite. I just don't want to act rich. I want to be rich. I don't want to act wealthy. I want to be wealthy. I don't want to act healed. I want to be healed. I want to be whole. I don't want to put on an act. I don't want to put on a show.
Yeah.
I don't want my mind having me thinking something, and I'm not really what I think I am. You look like you're in deep thought.
I was trying to find the scripture, but I couldn't find it.
What is? Go
He
ahead.
was talking about. I was listening to Apostle Matthew Stevenson one time. It was a while back, but he referenced a scripture that was talking about, how you were talking about haters, and you don't even know you mentioned haters, but people who don't like you. And I know there's a lot of times that we talk about, haters, and so and so don't like me and all this kind of stuff, and it's in the message he was talking about, how sometimes our haters fueling us, it can be a good and a bad thing. And people not liking us can be a good or a bad thing, because based off what you do, like it's all about your motive. Like some people, because if people don't like me, I have to feel like I have to prove myself to show them up or something like that. And he was talking about how a lot of conferences, a lot of convocations, a lot of services, a lot of flyers, things are made. People are doing it for God, but doesn't mean He asked you to do it. And it can kind of go hand in hand with, as far as you're talking about, as far as it's all like, as far as like your motive, like what's fueling you to do certain things. And when you brought up people who don't like, I'm talking about people who focus on a lot, people who don't like me, or people who who hate me or whatever. It reminded me of that. But you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. And sometimes it can be that in and of itself is a mind game too, though, because sometimes you in planning those conferences or in trying to show people up, you find you're actually doing it to show that person up, when in actuality they're not thinking about you. Like, they're going on, they're being successful in what God told them to do, but you're trying to match them. Y'all doing the same thing, but the difference is God told them to do it, but God didn't tell you. You're doing that out of a motive of, oh, you know what? I'm gonna show my haters. I'm gonna show them something. Now you wasted all that time planning, and you've benefited nothing, because God didn't ask you to do it.
Absolutely.
So because you do it for God doesn't mean He asked you to do it.
That was heavy, Doc.
Was that good?
That was heavy,
Yeah,
Doc.
good?
That was good.
Right. Right.
That was one of those comments that you don't need to say anything else for the rest of the show. Because if you say something else and it falls below that, we just gonna look at you and say it was an accident. He didn't mean to say that. It was an accident. It came out on accident. He didn't mean to say it.
Oh, it is good to me.
But that was good.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Somebody sent something in the comment.
Listen, y'all. We getting ready to close, but I need y'all to understand. We are in church, and y'all having full-blown conversation with Justin. I mean, hey, brother. I mean, just got up out the seat, hugging him and everything. We glad to see you, Jay. I mean, and then Justin just posting full me like, I'm here. I have arrived.
That's good.
This is good to me. Well, all right, we getting ready to get off of here though. Real talk. That was great. And like I said, I wanted to deal again with the word hypocrite and what hypocrites mean. Because a lot of times we've taken people's humanity and called them hypocrites. You're a hypocrite. Yeah, I mean, you're a human, not a hypocrite.
Right.
You're only a hypocrite when you're acting like you're doing something and you're not.
That's good. I
Right.
think that freed a lot of us too, though. Seriously.
Like seriously. So because like a lot of times, people are afraid to preach certain messages.
Mm-hmm.
People are afraid to say certain things and do certain things because we've had that beat into us.
Yep.
And again, you got to go back study to show thyself approved,
Mm-hmm.
rightly dividing the word.
Yeah.
So just because it's been taught to you a long time, it doesn't make it right.
And you know something? I never understood too, because I know it freed. I know it freed me up when you talked about that Sunday as far as the meaning of hypocrite. Because what's the scripture talks about? Depart from me, thou hypocrite, something like that. And we thinking that if we, because I think I'll never forget. Somebody told me one time. It was actually one of my friends a long time ago. Um, I was helping them with a certain struggle that they had, and at a point in time, it was like, well, you do this and you do that. So it was like, so how you gonna tell me? I said this. I said, but you go to church, listen to your pastor, right? And he was like, yeah. I said, aren't they human too? Yeah. Do they make mistakes too? Yeah. What's the difference between us then? If that's your point. And so I think a lot of times, being taught that being a hypocrite was simply addressing someone else when you either have the same struggle or you have a struggle. Um, you know, trying to, because at the end of the day, they did talk about, don't judge me, don't do all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, dang, if I mess up, I'm being a hypocrite. And the scripture that talks about, the hypocrites, not making it in or whatever, it was just like, well, dang, I'm going to hell because I didn't slipped up. So, but now that you clarified that, I know that freed me up.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
mean,
sure it can.
because look at it. Like look at David and Saul and David.
Mhm.
Saul disobeyed God like one time, like and God like off of that one time, God was like, taking my anointing back. David, like let's look at all the stuff David did.
Mhm.
Okay, David stole somebody's wife.
Yep.
David got
Murdered.
somebody killed.
Yep.
David opened up generational curses.
Lied.
He lied. I mean, David did all this stuff. But then
Mhm.
God had the nerve. I don't say the nerve. God said he's the guy
Right.
after my own heart.
Mm.
Like he
That's
didn't
a
got
valid
somebody
point.
killed. He didn't stole some stuff. What's the difference? The
The
difference
heart.
is the heart.
Matters of the heart.
Saul did it, didn't feel bad. He tried to cover.
Mhm.
He tried to hide it. I really believe. No, I don't want to go that far on camera. But I think in regards to David, I really believe that God kept David close because David's heart was always in God's hand.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
That's the difference between humanity and hypocrisy.
Mhm.
You become a hypocrite when you're telling people love the Lord or God to God be the glory, but in your heart you're only doing things to have people recognize you.
Mhm.
You because again, look at the context and when he was talking to the disciples and talking to them about praying, fasting.
Mhm.
He would always say, "Hey, when you fast, wash yourself up." Okay, when you fast, he's talking to the disciples, clean yourself. Don't look like you're fasting.
Right.
Okay, don't be like those hypocrites over
Right.
there
That's right. That's
who's
right.
doing it to be seen,
That's
foaming
right.
at the mouth, looking
Mhm.
because they don't really meet. They probably eating at home.
Yeah.
That's why it kind of I get it in the technological age that we are in, where people announce their fasting. I somewhat, but still, it's like
Yeah.
okay.
It's a yeah. I don't
The
like.
Bible said that in private, in quiet, fast.
Yep.
So like even when you go to somebody's house to eat, I mean to just go chill, and you find out they all eating and you the only one fasting. Well, you don't announce it.
Right.
You don't. Nah, I can't eat that, dog. I'll be whoa. I'll be glad when this fast over, boy,
Right.
because I'm gonna tear all that up.
Right.
You're defeating the purpose.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whoa, y'all church always on a fast. I thank God that people don't really know when we fast. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole it seemed like all of Christianity fast in January,
Right.
and
Exactly.
you don't hear nothing about it for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
21-day fast. Now, you didn't go on a 21-day fast. You went on a 21-day diet or detox. Mind games.
Yeah.
If you listen, if you don't have the word and you rightly divide it, you think you're doing something and you're not. You busy, but you're not being productive, like we said in the beginning. So don't be. That's what makes you a hypocrite. Don't be like them. They're doing it for a show. And so I just free somebody up
Yep. You did.
to live how you live at home. Live how you live at home. When they and the next time you slip up and cuss because you angry, and the next time you know whatever, and they be like, "Oh, you hypocrite." I'm gonna tell your pastor because people. I don't know what it is. Like some of my members who live with their parents threaten them that they're gonna tell me. I be like, "What you want me to do?" I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I have relationship with my members and I see their progress.
Yeah.
And everybody that I have singing or like playing the organ or whatever who's in leadership, I already know they're not perfect. And my relationship 9 times out of 10, I already know what they did, but while you're on their way to announce it. I've had people up singing and they were pregnant out of wedlock. Not because I'm trying to prove a point, but I saw their heart.
Right.
So who am I that if you repented to be like, oh, you sit down for 49 days. God didn't take a process to forgive you for 49 days.
He did not. That's you know what.
That's just me. Now, how somebody does it in the house, that's the. But here, I can't.
It's dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I
I'm
don't.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect
Why
sense.
you think you're going to come and expose somebody's lifestyle? They were at this house. They were in some. Listen, most of the time, I already know because of the relationship I have. And I'm thankful that God knows me and he knows my heart.
Right.
And I don't say that as a excuse to do whatever I want. No, I
Right.
say that because God really knows my heart. I
Exactly.
spend time with them. And when I need to apologize to somebody, I may offend someone in the beginning, but then I promise you, because I have the heart of God, God has my heart.
Yep.
He's gonna deal with me that night, and make
Absolutely.
me apologize.
Yes, sir.
So I'm finished.
That's good.
We're done. Join us Sunday.
Join us Sunday. Because I'm scared to say something else because my last statement was.
Well, y'all blessed tonight. Was this good for you? Let me
This is
see
good.
some hearts, some likes,
This was
and
good.
let me see some thumbs up if this was good for
Devon,
you.
give us some larks.
Larks, like some lots of hikes and larks,
Lots of lights and larks.
hikes and larks, hikes. Give us some hikes and larks. Nah, why are we skipping? Is this me or is it? Okay. All right, we're getting ready to go again. Moms,
Moms.
throw it up there, Jay. Moms,
Moms.
50
50.
moms.
Moms.
We got meals for you.
We got meals for you.
meals for 50 moms.
Meals for 50 moms.
Meals for 50 moms. We want you to go and register right now at www.mmccwilson.com.
Come.
Click the register tab. It's free. All you got to do is put your name in, put your email address in. You'll get the information. Show up Saturday at 1 o'clock. All right? So go ahead. Hurry up. You don't have to be a mom who attends MMCC.
Right.
Okay? This is for all moms. This is for all moms, okay? If you are like a mom, come on out, all right? If you take care of a child, okay? Now, don't be talking about my nieces and nephews and all that. Now, and I'm going to say
Just
this.
want a plate.
Put me back on the screen, Jay. Put me back on the screen real quick, because this just hit me.
Just want a plate.
Y'all stop calling people baby mamas.
Uh-oh.
Y'all stop that. They had my child. No, keep them in their place, because when you try to get in the place, that leaves a part of their life uncovered. You're an auntie for a reason. Stay an auntie. Don't be no baby mom. That's my child. No, it's not your child. You are auntie, okay? And what? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. I'm just saying I see a lot of stuff like that. No, they're not your baby mama. They're not your surrogate. They're none of that, unless they were actually your surrogate. All right. So it's all right to raise your nephew like he's your son. That's fine, or your daughter or your niece like your daughter. That's fine. But at the same time, when you leave and try to occupy a role, it leaves something in their life uncovered.
That's true. That's very
Aunties
true.
are important. Uncles are important.
Yeah.
I take pride in being a wonderful uncle. I like that, but the thing is, I got too many nieces and nephews now, so I can't. So don't none of them get nothing for Christmas. But you understand what I'm saying. So, but anyway, moms,
What if you're pregnant?
answer that.
No, it's a valid question.
Answer it.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
No. Wait, no.
Some
Hold on.
people- some
Wait.
people might have the same question.
Stop. Because I'm really concerned. No, I'm being serious. No. This is mind game. It's gonna help you think.
No,
It's a simple. We're making it harder than what it is.
so can we just yes or
If you're pregnant, why don't
no? So the
we
answer is yes. So come on, guys, get your plate Saturday
No,
at 1
no,
o'clock.
because I want you to have reason behind this.
Can we discuss
Why
this
don't we
after
do
the live?
abortion? Abortion is what? It's what?
A sin.
No.
Abortion is a sin.
I mean, yes.
That's the
but
answer. See.
let's get to murder. You don't murder something dead. It's a life.
But some people may have the same question.
If you're pregnant, and you're a mother because you're already taking care of the child. You're not out clubbing and shaking on the pole and eating all kinds of stuff and smoking. Okay.
I mean,
All right, let's get off of here. Moms, go register.
go register. And if you desire to be a mom or desire to be pregnant, you come on down too. We have some Vienna sausages and saltine crackers for you that we'll hand to you on a hefty, matter of fact, a great value styrofoam plate.
All right. We love y'all. We'll see you, moms.
Stay tuned. For more announcements, go to Facebook, MMCC Wilson. You can also go to Instagram at MMCC Wilson. And guess what, guys? You're darn right. We're on YouTube. Go to YouTube and check us out, all right? We also have apparel on the line. If you want any of our latest apparel, you guys can inbox us at MMCC Wilson on Facebook, guys. We love you. We really do. We really love you.
You done?
Ah,
All right. We'll see y'all this weekend. We
Be
love you.
blessed. No ED.